guys, good morning. I should say good afternoon. Nice Sunday afternoon out here. A little brisk, cool. It's good. Great day to be out here on the saw, bucking up some logs and start to make some firewood for next year. So today we've got our Steel MS361. This is a saw that I think some of you know. This is a saw that was given to me by someone, and at the time it was given to me, it was in a pretty sad state of I wouldn't say disrepair, but it was in a tough state. It had been used hard for many years and needed some love. So we did quite a bit to it. I had a problem with it last week. The new needle bearing that was put on with the sprocket and so forth, after about 2 tanks, decided to let go. So back into the shop she went, but got it back. And we had a little timeout on here yesterday with her. We got into some of these bigger rounds, and certainly some that are over there. We'll show you some of the footage of that stuff later on. But today we're going to get into some more firewood here. So stick around, have a little fun, and enjoy. Okay, we'll talk to you in a little bit. So one of the things that we always want to talk about whenever we're out here and having some fun in the firewood pile is being safe. Okay, I have, as many of you know, I have 2 kids. My daughter Abigail, who's 8, and my son Riley, who is 5. They love being out here and helping with a lot of what we do, but we always talk about being safe. So we've got some safety gear. We've got our chaps. We've got hearing protection. We've got our helmet with hearing protection and our visor. Gloves. We've got our glasses and a good pair of boots. Okay, really important whenever we're out here doing this. We always want to be aware of what's going on around us. So we've taught our kids that whenever people are working, there's a way to approach them. So that's something that's really important too, especially for people that enjoy doing this type of stuff. They've got kids and they're out playing around and so forth, as ours do. We've taught them how to be safe around what I'm doing, what we're doing, whatever over here in the firewood pile. So it's good stuff. All right, keep your kids safe. This is why we're doing all this for our kids. But you want to be able to end the day on a good note and feel good about what you did without getting hurt. So safety, really important. So let's have some fun. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna fire the saw up, do a cold start on her, let her warm up a little bit. While we're doing that, we'll get our chainsaw chaps on, our arborist helmet, glasses, and get ready to have a little bit of fun here. Some of the wood we got into yesterday. This is some pretty big wood here. This is all black oak, and some of this is I'd say probably close to 3 feet in diameter, but
We got quite a pile going on over here already. We had a pile of logs right here. We got through all that last weekend. We've got a good pile of logs to get into there. Maybe today, I'm not quite sure. We'll have to see. But right now, we're gonna get into some of this.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth of
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So a little bit earlier here in the video we were talking about how we were out on the wood pile. We're doing some cutting, and we talked about how we may want to try and dress the chain up on the next tank of fuel. So we got a bit more wood cut out there, and decided to top the tank off. She was starting to sputter, so brought it in, and we're going to talk about redressing the chain here a little bit. Okay, so the saw that we run is a Stihl MS361. This is a pro grade saw. We have a 20-inch bar dressed on her right now, and we run the green safety chain. Could I run a yellow chain, a yellow grade chain, which is a little bit more of a professional grade chain? Yes, I could. For me, the green safety chain works very well. I'm very happy with it, and obviously if it's a bit more of a safer working environment, then that's all for me. So having said that, this is a full house chain. This is a 3/8 chain, 050 gauge on the bar, okay, on the guide bar. So anytime I work with the saw, okay, I always have a pair of gloves on, especially when I'm sharpening, because if you were to just come across the top of that tooth, you could really cut yourself. So we'll put our gloves back on. Lock that down there. So what I use, okay, this is again, I'm not endorsing any brand or anything like that here. This is a product made by Stihl. This is called a 2-in-1 file guide, and I love it. It really keeps your profile and your cutting depth and how you get into what's known as the gullet of the tooth. It really helps to maintain that profile on a pretty consistent basis from tooth to tooth. So what I like to do, I take the brake off, I start on the green strap, and that gives me an indicator so I know where I am as I'm coming around, okay? So this has a direction on it. Arrow points this way. And what you do is you keep this face right here parallel with the face of the bar, okay? And this keeps your cutting angle at approximately 30 degrees, all right? So what we do, we take just a couple passes, all right? Now 6 passes, okay? And you do that across each tooth. And you probably hear it tinkle a little bit whenever it comes back like that. We're not cutting on the backstroke. We're only cutting on our forward stroke, okay? It tinkles a little bit coming back whenever you're pulling the file, because the file does have teeth, so it rubs against the inside of the tooth, okay? But it's not cutting and it's not doing any damage, all right? It's just making a little bit of a noise as it grabs. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And we're not forcing the file here, okay? What that was a bird that we were catching on there, okay? And we just work right along, taking about 6 passes. I may not even have to take 6, but that's what I decided to do on the first one. Generally, and I am not a professional chain sharpener, okay? I have learned to perfect it a little bit over the course of time because of how much time I spend on the saws. The saw is going to perform so much better and at optimum capability with a sharp chain. And what's great about this 2-in-1 file guide too is the fact that as I'm cutting and sharpening the tooth, there's a flat file combined in here along with the round file, and it's also filing my depth gauges, also known as your rakers, at the same time. And what that's doing is there's a relationship between the height of your depth gauge and the leading edge of your tooth. Okay? That height is what determines how much wood you're going to remove with each pass of your cutting tooth. Okay? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right? And the fact that this is all being done at the same time, A, saves time, but B, it maintains that relationship between the two surfaces that we're cutting or filing or dressing, however you want to say it. Okay, and this is the last tooth here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's the last tooth, and we're right back at our green strap. So what we're going to do, we're going to loosen this up. We're going to walk this around. We're going to release this. Now this is where things get interesting, because I'm going to change the entire way that I'm going to change the entire way that I file. All right. I don't have my vise set up in a manner that is going to allow me to swing it all the way around. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the camera, I'm going to shift the camera, I'm going to bring the camera around over here, and you guys will be able to see how I file from this side. But in doing so, it changes my stance. Okay, it changes my position, how I'm standing when I go to file. Okay, so now instead of pushing with my right arm and leading with my left, I'm now going to be pushing with my left and leading with my right. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that I have my vise positioned here. If I had my vise positioned in another area of the shop where it was a lot more open and free, I could swing this around however I want, and I would be able to dress the chain from the same side, so to speak, meaning I could maintain my stance, my position, how I'm positioned with my file towards my chain, and that will give you a more consistent filing technique, and that will also ensure that you file one set of teeth on one side of the chain the same as on the other side. That'll also help you to maintain a more straight cut as well too. Okay, because I found that you know who really noticed that was my dad. He was here, this is a while ago, it was before pre-COVID. He was here and he was in the shop with me, and he saw how I was filing, and he said, "You file differently from side to side." And I said, "You know," I said, "You're right, I do." But he picked up on it, and how he picked up on it was the sound of the file. Okay, so I'm going to swing the camera around. All right. All right. Let's swing this around right here like this. And bring this down. And let's see what we can do there. All right. Grab our file right here like this. Okay. So again, starting at the green strap, so that's an indicator, so we know whenever we've made a full revolution around the entire chain. Right. So you want this to be, here's your arrow, like that, okay? And again, same thing, the round file is just going to fit right down inside the gullet of the chain, okay? and the flat file is going to file the top of the raker or the depth gauge, okay? And what we're going to do, we're just going to, well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tighten the vise so the vise doesn't move. Okay, so now we're back. Okay, so I've got my stance here, my position, okay, how I feel comfortable, okay? And we're just going to start. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, okay? Removing just a little bit. And I knew that was going to happen. All we're going to do is just slide this up just a little bit. So what happened there was the chain got caught on the bottom of the vise. The other thing too I like utilizing these soft nylon protectors on the inside of the jaws of the vise. It protects the bar, or anything for that matter, that I want to have a softer tightening surface against whenever I have anything inside the jaws of my vise that I don't want to damage. Okay. All right. Back at it. So here we are. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Again, we did 6 strokes on the other side. We're doing 6 on this side. Okay, and we like to check the tooth as we go along here, but and that's it. Try to maintain consistent pressure and just feel the file. Let the file do the work. Don't push it. Don't apply too much pressure. Okay, and we're only filing in one direction. We're not pulling it back, we're pushing. And we're letting the teeth on the file do the work. And this will be especially important once we get into some of the bigger rounds when we go back to the pile. Nice sharp tooth. And that's it. Just coming right through. And it's really important you keep the chain sharp. The sharper chain is actually safer than a duller chain. Does anyone know why? You're not pushing the chain, you're not forcing it. You're allowing it to do its job, which is to cut. Okay? The sharper that tooth is, the easier it's going to cut. So when you start forcing the saw, if you have a dull tooth, or a dull chain, so to speak, all right? You're going to put yourself into a more of a situation where you might be more prone to an accident because you're forcing the saw. It could bind, it could kick, you're applying more pressure, you may not be able to react to the saw as fast or feel the saw as fast. Do something that's going to become adverse. So you want to have a sharp chain, and you want to allow the tooth to cut. And again, I'm not a professional, okay? I am someone who merely loves and enjoys working with power saws and equipment. I, just like you, have watched a lot of videos. Here's the last tooth. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, okay? I, just like a lot of you, okay, have watched a lot of videos on YouTube, and you pick up a lot of information, you pick up a lot of technique, you watch a lot of people who are professionals do a lot of this stuff, and that's how you learn, and then you apply it real world, okay? Test some things out, try some things, and you'll learn by doing. So that's what we're doing. We're learning by doing, which is how we're trying to teach our kids as well too, and learn by doing. So we're going to do, while we've got the saw in the vise, I'll show you here in a second. Swing this around here. All right. See this? Chain's a little loose. All right. And it's probably because of how much use it's gotten today. As it gets used, it actually expands. So we're going to loosen up these 2 nuts. We're going to tighten up the bar. We're going to readjust it. And then we're going to get back at it. So we have a tool for this. Again, this is another steel tool, all right? This particular tool happens to have the star head on it, okay? You need a flat head in order to be able to adjust the chain tensioner. So all we do is, we'll tighten this up. We don't have to, but we will. Just makes it easier so nothing moves around. All we're going to do is just back this off. We're going to back that off. Not a lot, just a little. And then we're going to take, swing this around here like this. We're going to take the flathead. We're going to come in here. We're just going to tighten this up just a little bit. See that? That's a lot better. Typically, I believe you want to be able to lift no more than 3 guides out of the guide bar, all right? Which is probably about where we're at right now, approximately, okay? I'm comfortable with that, all right? And all we're going to do is just snug these back up. Real important thing to do, every time you top off your tank, top off your bar and chain oil reservoir. This particular saw, I believe, has an adjustable oiler on it. For every tank of fuel I go almost through, not quite, but almost a full tank of oil on the bar and chain oiler. So, all right, we're going to take this out. We're going to fuel it up. We're going to catch you back here in just a little bit. Thanks for hanging around. Hey guys, we're back. Just took a little bit of a break to sharpen the chain. I think everybody saw that clip. Hopefully we're going to be happy with how that comes out. We'll know here in a minute once we fire up the saw. Things keep popping off on me. I'll see if that stays there. Again, time will tell. So before we were out here, we were cutting some of the logs up here behind us, okay? And very, very happy with how that went. We were able to utilize the way that the logs were sitting, along with gravity, and they were able to work in our benefit, okay, for being able to cut some of these larger logs. So we didn't pinch the bar, and the saw performed optimally, okay? Some of the logs that we have here now that are sitting on the floor of the forest are a lot larger, especially this one right behind me here, okay? So I took a heel bar and just threw a block of wood in behind it here just to kind of get it away from the larger one that's behind it, so the nose of my bar doesn't get pinched. All right, But we're gonna take the marker. We're gonna run the marker down the log here. We're gonna make our marks 16 inches. I love this thing. It's so easy. Okay, just reset it. Here we go. Click, click. That's it. So I got 2 marks right there. So I have 16, 16, and 16. Done. So let's grab this. Let's get this out of here so we don't have to worry about the bar of the chainsaw or the chain hitting it. And that's that. And we get the saw fired up here. We'll be right back with you in just a moment. All right, guys, here we are. Took a quick break there for just a second to say hi to one of my neighbors behind me. So we made our marks here, 16 inches, 1, 2. So we'll get 3 16-inch rounds out of this. So letting the saw warm up here for a second, and then we're gonna get right back into this. Starting to lose a little bit of daylight here. The sun's starting to set, so we got a little bit of time left. We might be able to get this one here, and maybe the one right behind it, and maybe a couple small ones. And I think that'll probably be about it. But let me grab my helmet here. Hope everybody's enjoying this video. This is a little bit of a different video. I haven't shot anything really kind of since the holidays, Christmas and New Year's, but kind of back at the work here a little bit. Throw my glasses back on. Throw my helmet on. I'm gonna put my ear protection on. There we are. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do here. Okay. Probably noticed how it was cutting there. I was hearing teeth are catching. Might have a little bit of a different grind with the round file from tooth to tooth, catching a little bit like that. And my depth gauge might be off just a touch from tooth to tooth. But once you actually get into the cut, you heard it smooth right out. So let's see what happens here on the second one. I don't want to go too low because I don't want to bury the bar into the ground. As soon as I hit the ground, it's it, it's done. So let's get into the next one here. Look at those. That is nice. That's exactly what you want. Nice chips like that. You guys, I love being covered in sawdust. It's very enjoyable. All right, let's get that pinch bar. Now, admittedly, this would be a lot easier, like I said, with a cant hook, where I could roll the log a little bit easier that way than using a pinch bar. But it is what it is. This is what we're using out here today. I'm gonna see. I put that right there like that. Fiddlesticks. Or what if you just try and get in here? And do it the old-fashioned way. That worked out well. I guess I ate my Wheaties this morning. Now let's get this out of here so we don't hit it with the saw. Alright. So, you can see here that we've got one mark here, one mark here. We're pretty close. Wedge. In fact, that almost looks to me like it might be done. So, pretty damn close. Done. How'd that work out? I think like a charm. Now, let's get the second one here. I like it. See how close we are here first. Oh, we're so close. We don't even need the wedge. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There we are. Done. Perfect. All right. We're going to take a short break. We're going to roll these off out of the way. and make a mark on the next one and see where we're at. I don't know what you guys think. That thing sounds like it's popping a little bit. It sounds throaty as hell, but I wonder if I maybe lost the gasket on the exhaust port, the new muffler. I don't know. We'll have to check that out. Maybe the next set of cuts, I'll do it without my ear protection on and see how it sounds. So, all right, guys, we'll catch us here in just a short minute. All right, guys. Well, you know I will move these logs when we're done. I just happened to pick the saw up and take a look at it, and my suspicion has been confirmed. So, whenever I picked the saw up there, when we were done just getting off the last video here, I was hitting the accelerator trigger. What do we notice right here? What does that look like? Blown gasket. That's exactly what happened. I lost the gasket. So now I don't know how adverse, how much of an adverse impact it's going to have on the saw. What I do know is that it just opened up the saw's ability to breathe, and that's why the thing was just running like a bat out of hell. The saw, I mean, once that happened, it really woke the saw up. But I know enough to know this, that that's no different than porting the muffler, which is something I would like to do to this at some point. But when you do that, you have to retune the saw. You have to retune the saw so that it doesn't run lean. So we're not going to run the saw anymore. We're going to have to pull the muffler off. We're going to have to put a new gasket on and throw another new muffler on. I'm a little concerned about how this is going to go because of the fact that I've done this once already. There was one helicoil in on one side. I had to put a helicoil in on the other, and I have a bad feeling that it's going to be more than just replacing the muffler and the gasket. I have a sneaky suspicion that this is going to require probably some machine work in the head, in the exhaust, on the exhaust side. So I got a feeling we're going to be laying the saw up for a little bit. So, but we're still on the right side of good because we haven't leaned the motor out and we haven't blown her up. But what it does show is that with the motor being able to breathe that much better, it runs that much better. Really woke the saw up. So it just kind of it's proof in the pudding for me that I want to get this fixed, but at the same time I want the exhaust side of the motor opened up and retune and adjust the carburetor to suit, and we can get a lot more power out of the saw. I definitely noticed there for sure. So I've got my other saw in the shop, and I switched off using that to this one, because this got a bigger motor in it. It's also a lot more fun to play with out here on the in a log pile. But my other saw, I think, is going to need a new clutch and brake. I think the time has come. So I might be putting these back over, both of them over in the shop, and being without a saw, which I don't like, but it is what it is. So guys, had a lot of fun with you here today, without a doubt. I love being out here. There's a lot of peace and relaxation in this, without a doubt. So the next video that I think we're probably going to get into, outside of the kids working on the one coming up, Tools Are Not Toys, the next one will probably be whenever we get the splitter back. The splitter right now is at our fabricator, and we decided to replace the deck on it. We're remachining the push block to the new deck. We bought a log grate, a log table, for all the pieces coming off of the split and wedge, so I don't have to keep bending down to the ground and picking them up. Let's see, what else did we do to it? We're adding 2 more knives to the splitting wedge. So now we're going to have a 6-way wedge on it. And at the same time, I was up there, I also had him throw a couple D-rings on the main beam. A lot easier for transport. But we hope to have that back this week, and then we'll be into splitting some wood here. We got a lot of wood. We'll take you over and show you what we got. There's definitely a bit of wood here. So we've got what we've got here. All right, we're almost done with this pile. And this pile I want to get cleaned up because I have other uses for this particular area. This was just kind of a temporary area for where I had some logs from earlier in the year. But over here is our bigger pile. We got quite a bit of wood to get into here to split. This is already a split, all of it. And then naturally all of this over here. Guys, thanks a lot for sticking around today and having some fun with me. I had a lot of fun out here for the short time that I was out here with the saw. And to be honest with you, I didn't see that whole thing coming with the gasket on the muffler, but that's equipment. It's gonna break. What are you gonna do? So, having said all that, we still have a little bit of a Sunday afternoon left here. It's beautiful out. It's probably about 40 degrees. If I had a little bit more time left, if it was maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I might go venture to go wash the truck, but we're not going to get into that here today. I think the best part to spend the rest of this afternoon is to get our kids back out here, and I think I'm gonna come out here and maybe enjoy a nice cold beer. Nothing wrong with that. So, but we got our work cut out here for us, but I'm very happy with the amount of wood that we've got already cut here. We'll get the splitter back this week and start and get into some of that maybe next weekend. And then we're going to have some really exciting news coming up for the channel in the next couple of weeks here, so stick around for that. But thanks again for checking us out. Thank you for the support. Can't tell you how much we appreciate it. And if everybody could do us all a huge favor this week, love your friends, love your neighbors, love your family, love your kids. Hold them tight. Give them a big hug and a kiss. Tell them how much they mean to you, how important they are. It's so important. The world is truly depending upon all of us pulling together right now. Be kind, friends. Have a great week. Stay safe. We'll see you again. Thanks. Take care.